What is up, boys and girls? Under here, and now I'm back with another Survivor Series rebooking video. So last week we tackled 1992. This week we're gonna tackle arguably the worst Survivor Series of all time. At least it is in my opinion anyway. 20 years ago, Survivor Series 1999. Yeah, like I say, in real life I think this show is just awful. Obviously, ironically, one of the hottest times in the company's history. 1999 was getting record ratings and all that sort of shit. But let's be honest, a lot of the pay-per-views left a lot to be desired. A lot of the B pay-per-views are mediocre. WrestleMania 15 was awful that year. SummerSlam was pretty good, but not great. And then this show, the King of the Ring, was pretty bad. And this show was pretty awful. Well, it was awful as well. So logically, if I'm going to rebook some shows, it would make sense for me to try and rebook the worst show of all time, right? Yeah. So let's go through what the real card was, and let's go through my rebooking. So the real card was, we had D'Lo Brown, the Godfather, and the Headbangers against the Acolytes and the Dudley Boys in the Survivor Series match. Kurt Angle's WWF debut versus Shawn Stasiak. The team of Val Venis, Gangrel, Mark Henry, Steve Blackman. They faced the British Bulldog and the Main Street Posse, also in the Survivor Series match. An 8-woman tag team match. This one was terrible. Deborah, the Fabulous Moolah, Mae Young and Tori to face Ivory, Jacqueline, Luna, Vachon and Terry Runnels. Kane versus X-Pac. The Big Show in the Survivor Series match because he beat up all his partners to face the Big Boss Man, Mideon, Prince Albert and Viscera. Intercontinental title match, China versus Chris Jericho. Another Survivor Series match of the Holly Cousins and Too Cool versus Edge, Christian and the Hardy Boys. For the WWF Tag Team Championships, the New Age Outlaws versus Kane and Mankind. And then for the WWF Championship, the Big Show versus Triple H versus The Rock. Big Show, of course, replacing Steve Austin. So in real life, this was a 10-match card. I've gone for 7-match cards, so I've scrapped a lot of the matches, taken a lot of guy like fairly mid-card guys off the card, and try to make just a more, more efficient 7-match card. I think this would be so much better. I'm just going to have a drink of tea before I start. Yeah, so let's get to it really. We're going to kick off with a tag team match, not a Survivor Series match, but just a straight up, actually we're going to have a handicap match. And that's the Acolytes versus the Main Street Posse. So I was struggling to think of what to come up with for opener, because I didn't want to have 3 Survivor Series elimination matches. And I didn't really want to have something like Val Venis versus Gangrel or something pointless like that. I'm only sure I've got 2 Survivor Series elimination matches, not 3. So I looked at the roster and I thought, yeah, this should be a fun enough match. Obviously the Acolytes and Main Street Posse, I mean, that kind of work. You can do something simple where the Main Street Posse getting the Acolytes' nerves and all that. Maybe have a fight in a bar or something on a Raw or SmackDown before the show. So you've got the badass brawlers and the Acolytes, and then the annoying Main Street Posse. This would be alright enough opener. It doesn't have to go too long. Maybe 8 minutes or something like that. Let's not drag this out. Let's just use this to make the Acolytes look strong. The Acolytes go over, defeats the Main Street Posse in the opening match. Then we got match number 2, a match that's tweaked slightly. That's Kurt Angle make his WWF debut, but he's not making it against Shawn Stasiak. He's going to make it against Mark Henry instead. 2 reasons. 1, who gave a shit about Shawn Stasiak in the WWF in 1999? Let's be honest, his first run in the company wasn't very good. He came in and his character was called Meat. That's right, his character was called Meat. And his gimmick, you ask? Well, Meat was, oh god, this is true as well. 1999, Vince Russo, smutty era guys, different time. Meat was a sex slave of PMS, Jacqueline, Terry Runnels, and I think Ryan Shamrock was in there before. And basically his gimmick was, he was the guy that these women had sex with over and over again, lots and lots of sex. And his tights were made to look like underwear. Good God, it was bad. I remember, oh God, the Sunday Night Heat before, I think it was before Fully Loaded. Apparently the crack was, Meat was so Meat on Heat. Get it? Meat was so tired of him having sex with Jacqueline all the time that he couldn't keep it up anymore. So he took Viagra. But of course he was scheduled for a match with her. I believe it was the Big Boss Man. I could be wrong. I think it was. Maybe it wasn't. But I remember apparently the crack was he had a hard on because he had this Viagra, and the Big Boss Man hit his boner with a knife. Good God! So then later on he just became Shawn Stasiak, and then left in controversial circumstances late 1999. Went to WCW in 2000 and all that. So we're going to replace him with someone who was a bigger star than Shawn Stasiak, and that was Mark Henry. And another reason I did this, because it's 1996 Olympian versus 1996 Olympian. So of course, as you all know, Kurt Angle, you might have heard about this, with a broken freaking neck, mind you. Kurt Angle wins the gold medal in freestyle wrestling in the 1996 Olympics. But someone who also competed at Olympics, although wasn't quite successful, was Mark Henry. Now Mark Henry was a world-renowned weightlifter, at one time won the World's Strongest Man contest, but unfortunately got injured in the Olympics and didn't do as well as he liked in the Olympics, but both wound up in the WWF. So obviously no storyline behind this, is obviously just Kurt Angle making his debut. I mean, if you remember at the time, Kurt Angle had these vignettes for weeks going on before the debut, and what I loved about it, he was a classic babyface in 1999, but it was designed to deliberately get him heat. So a few years earlier, WWF brought in Rocky Maivia to be this classic babyface, ironically a Survivor Series as well, and that didn't work out too well because it was the 1990s now. Fans didn't want to see the typical 70s, 80s good guy anymore. So what they did with Kurt Angle, they made him like that on purpose, knowing the fans would boo him, and it was a really great concept, to be fair. I mean, yeah, he was your typical, I'm a good guy, I'm a sportsman, all that sort of thing. But by 1999, that thing was passe, got hated for it. And he just came across as an obnoxious jerk and all that. And obviously, I think the initial Kurt Angle character was great. And Kurt's just one of those ones that caught on so fast. Because not only was he a world-class athlete, and obviously because that became a natural pro wrestler, he had the charisma and the mic skills to match it up as well. So, needless to say, huge rise. A year later, he was the WWF champion. So yeah, let this match pretty much play out like the Stasiak one, just with Mark Henry in the place of Shawn Stasiak. I mean, one of my favourite things about this match, in the middle of the match, Kurt Angle got out of the ring, got the microphone, and pretty much said to the crowd, "You do not boo an Olympic gold medalist, that is very disrespectful." So, awesome heat device, and of course, with it being his debut, Kurt Angle can defeat Mark Henry. In match number 3, first Survivor Series match of the night, we're going to have Edge and Christian and the Hardy Boys to team up to face the Hollies and the Dudleys. So, taking the match what was in real life, which was the Hollies and Too Cool, but taking Too Cool out and putting the Dudley Boys in. I mean, yeah, Too Cool weren't really very good heels at the time. I think like they were much more suited to being baby faces because of the size and all that. And obviously the gimmick was kind of entertaining, and especially when they got Rikishi in there, it became a really popular act, you know. Obviously one of the goals of this is to get the Dudleys doing something better in the early days than WWF. Obviously later on, Dudleys had Edge and Christian had this epic feud. So put the Dudleys in there. I mean, the Dudleys' first couple of months of the WWF was just not good, to be honest. They had the tie-dye look from ECW. But they weren't treated as badass brawlers like they were in ECW. They even did the old Bubba Ray stuttering gimmick, which was awful. It wasn't until January 2000 when they changed the look and the more familiar camouflage look, started putting people through tables, and started being the tough brawlers we knew them as ECW, and then they eventually got over. So in real life, the Edge and Christian, the Hardys versus Hollies and Too Cool was probably the best match on the show, so probably say that'll be no different here. And because of the 10 match card, however, I put it into 7, I've decided to go with this, to extend this match to like over 20 minutes, so this one gets a little bit more time to develop. So we can start off with the Dudley Boys eliminating Christian with a 3D. Then we can have Jeff Hardy hit the Swanton Bomb to eliminate Devon. Edge can hit a downward spiral to eliminate Bubba Ray, so now it's 2-on-3. Then we can have Hardcore Holly pin Matt Hardy, so now it's the Hollies versus Edge and Jeff Hardy. Then we can have Jeff Hardy eliminate Crash. Then we can have Hardcore down to face and Edge and Jeff Hardy. Then we can have Hardcore Holly overcome the two good guys to have the Hollies go over. Because originally I was going to have the Hardy Boys team go over, but I'm looking at my card here and it's very babyface heavy going over. So I needed to have another heels go over in one of their matches to kind of balance it out just a little bit. So Hardcore Holly's going to go, because Hardcore Holly was the sole survivor in real life. So I thought, yeah, why not just do that here? So then we got a fourth match, which is a big Survivor Series match. And it's placed at this point on the card because it'll tie into the main event, which I'll tell you about in a minute. So we're going to have a DX team of X-Pac and the New Age Outlaws, and their partner's going to be the British Bulldog. They face a team of Kane, Test, Mankind, and Al Snow. So taking X-Pac versus Kane and then New Age Outlaws versus Mankind and Al Snow, taking those matches, turn that into a Survivor Series match. Then adding Test in there because Test was getting a big push at the time. And the only other heel I could really think of putting with DX at the time was a British Bulldog. Because although his push had definitely started to slide down now, he did get a brief push upon coming back to the WWF. And I don't really want to go into detail about the British Bulldog's 1999 run because I hated it, thought it was awful. But he came in, turned on The Rock, was in the six-pack challenge match at Unforgiven. They even had a brief feud of The Rock into which included such classic things as The Rock guest referee in the Triple H Bulldog match on SmackDown, and then rock bottom in dog shit. That's all I'll say. Or the dog poop, according to Michael Cole. Just Google British Bulldog rock bottom dog poop, and you'll know what I mean. So, obviously, time New Age Outlaws were the tag team champions. DX had just reunited a few weeks before, and I thought it was alright. I mean, it was a funny one. DX of late 99, early 2000. Obviously, it could match the original. Why would it? I mean, just different circumstances. I thought it was alright. It wasn't great. It wasn't bad. It was just kind of there. I think it was the point in Triple H's career where he didn't really need to be back with DX, to be honest with you. But it was alright, I guess. So this match, give this match about 15 minutes. I think obviously it'll be a pretty good match. We can have let's run through it. We can have X-Pac to eliminate Al Snow. Then we can have Road Dogg to be eliminated by Test. And then what I would do is have Kane and X-Pac get into it. X-Pac, because obviously Kane and X-Pac was a big feud at the time. X-Pac to do something to Kane, and then Kane can chase X-Pac up the aisle, and then both X-Pac, because obviously X-Pac can start running away from Kane, Kane can start going for X-Pac, and then Kane and X-Pac are both counted out. So now we're down to Test and Mankind versus Billy Gunn and the British Bulldog. Then we can have we'd have Mankind eliminate the British Bulldog with Mr. Socko. Billy Gunn can get a clean win over Mankind of the Famouser. So then we're down to Test and Billy Gunn as the last two in there. Then we're going to have Test go over Billy Gunn. Test can go over and become the sole survivor and look strong in this match. Then at this point we can do the post-match. With the Austin promo, and then we can do the angle that happened on the show, which is Triple H and X-Pac and Road Dogg going after Austin, luring him to the car park, and then Austin getting run over by the car, because obviously that was probably the most famous thing on the show, that Austin getting run over angle, because obviously originally, as you know, the main event was supposed to be Stone Cold versus The Rock versus Triple H. Would have been an amazing match, but in my rebooking, I don't rebook stuff that weren't on the show. So with Austin's injury, I'm not booking him to have a match on the show. That goes with The Undertaker as well, because he was also injured. So the angle exactly like in real life, and because obviously the big one, Billy Gunn wasn't on the scene, and that led to speculation that Billy Gunn had ran over Austin. They later explained this that Billy Gunn had missed his flight or something and he's running late. So for this one, we're going to do a simple. Billy wasn't there simply because he was still in the ring, because he was the last guy of DX in the match and all that. So all that angle exactly the same. That was a big thing for the show. That went down. So Austin gets run over by the car, and then we wonder what's going to happen for the main event. And later on, as we go down the line, I'll tell you what my main event was going to be. So now we're getting to the last 3 matches. We've got match number 5 for the Intercontinental Championship, Chyna versus Chris Jericho. This match I'm keeping exactly the same. As a matter of fact, it's the only match on the show that's exactly the same as it was in real life. So for me, I thought this was a good match. I don't think it was a great one. And I thought there was an interesting rivalry though. I mean, at the time, Chyna, my God, she just broke so many barriers. I mean, if you weren't watching wrestling in the late 1990s, you won't really get it. I mean, there's all this stuff about intergender wrestling now. I mean, most notably Tessa Blanchard has done quite a little bit in Impact. I mean, she faced Sami Callihan feud. She was in the X Division. And a lot of people think that Tessa Blanchard might become the Impact World Champion soon, and who knows, maybe it will. And then obviously intergender sort a fairly big thing in the independent scene these days. But as far as the WWF, Chyna just broke so much ground. I mean, she was so over. She was a massive, massive star, and thank God she finally went to the Hall of Fame this year. Although in a backhanded way, being dicks, but she got in, so that's all good. And yeah, like I said, Chyna, my God, it's funny at the time as well. We didn't really question it either at the time. I mean, at the time we were like, oh, why the fuck is this woman fighting in the men's division? This is bullshit. Because Chyna was like so over and so believable that it kind of worked. Because of course Chyna was probably about 5'11", something like that. But obviously she was jacked as well, so she was as big or bigger as most of the guys, including Chris Jericho, as a matter of fact. So really a star of Chyna in the late 1988, started getting a little bit more involved in the wrestling, because obviously by that point she was solely Triple H's bodyguard, and then obviously managed various people in DX. And then she got into the 1999 Royal Rumble, so she became the first ever woman to enter the Royal Rumble that year. She wasn't in there very long. And then obviously, I guess about mid-1999, she started wrestling more and more. Qualified for the 1999 King of the Ring that year, and was in the quarterfinals against the Road Dogg. And then I guess after SummerSlam, she started competing regularly in the men's division. Started this feud with Jeff Jarrett, which culminated winning the Intercontinental title at No Mercy. And like I said at the time, such an historic moment. She is the first and to the date the only woman to hold with the exception of the Hardcore and the WWE 24/7 title. Apart from those ones, she's the only woman to hold a men's title in the company. And who knows if that will change? Maybe it will. I honestly think it will change at some point in the future, because I think, obviously, we've seen what's happened with Tessa Blanchard and all that. They tease it a little bit with Nia Jax. I think we'll start seeing intergender stuff in the future. And if it's done right, I don't mind, because it was successful here. And to be fair, Chyna deserved that Intercontinental title run. She was over and it felt really cool. And then her first big feud with Intercontinental Champion was a relative newcomer to the WWF by the name of Chris Jericho. So this was set up the night after No Mercy. Chris Jericho was disgusted that a woman could hold the Intercontinental title. Then he said, "Calls it Intercontinental title legacy." And as a joke, included the Mountie and all that. Because he said he was going to win that Intercontinental title off Chyna, bring back respect and prestige to that title. And that's how the feud started. I mean, it was a really good feud. And this is Chris Jericho's first real proper big feud in the WWF as well, because he'd been in the company for about 2 months at this point, and hadn't really, apart from his initial debut, which was awesome, the rest of his run had kind of been disappointing. I mean, it hadn't really worked out like Chris Jericho had hoped in the WWF. For example, No Mercy, the months before, he wasn't even on the card. Like, not even on... Yeah, he just wasn't booked on the show after all that shit. So at first, when Vince told Chris Jericho about this, he didn't like it at all, but he thought, well, at least it's something, I'll try and make the best of it, and that's what he did. And I think it was a good opponent for each other because, like I say, Chris Jericho, a smaller guy, Chyna's about the same size as Jericho, so it kind of worked as being believable and all that. So I thought the build up of the match was good, and the match itself I thought was good, not great. I think the Armageddon match you had a month later was a lot better. And that was, I think the Armageddon match, the one a month later when Jericho won the Intercontinental title, was probably the best match Chyna ever had in her career. But this match was good too, not great. Probably this and the Hollies and Edge and Christian Survivor Series match was the only really good thing on this show. So in real life, Chyna goes over to retain the Intercontinental title. And in my rebooking, she does the same. She wins the Intercontinental title as well. So yeah, there's that. So then we got match number 6 for the WWF Hardcore Championship. The Big Show versus the Big Boss Man. So, this is a controversial one, wasn't it? I mean, Big Show, Boss Man, an absolutely horrible feud. It was just so bad. But obviously there was one real highlight of this feud, which I'll get into in a minute. So the whole crux of this storyline was the Big Show's dad was dying of cancer. Yeah. Although the Big Show's real dad died about 4 or 5 years earlier, they did an angle where the Big Show's father had cancer and he was dying. And the Big Boss Man was basically mocking the Big Show's dad and all that for weeks and weeks and weeks, taking the piss out of Big Show's dad for having cancer and all that. Oh, God, just so offensive. And by the way, for the record, Vince Russo has gone from the company, so please don't blame Vince Russo for this storyline. Vince Russo had nothing to do with it. I have no idea who did actually book this show, but one thing I do know for certain, it was not Vince Russo. So yeah, it was just so bad. However, Big Boss Man was a complete piece of shit during this. I mean, what a heel, an absolutely despicable piece of trash heel. Because at the time, and even now to a certain extent, I think a lot of heels are cool. There's a lot of heels that are cool heels. They're heels, but I think a lot of the fans like them because they have a cool personality, or there's just something likeable about them. Not this Boss Man character, not at all. I mean, even though I was 13 at the time and I knew wrestling wasn't real anymore, I absolutely hated the Big Boss Man during this era. Thought, wow, what a piece of shit, and I really want to see the Big Show just destroy him. So I want to really keep for the purposes of this show, even though I didn't like the feud, but obviously it fits in with what I'm trying to book, so I want to book the storyline mostly the same as it was in real life. And then of course this all culminated. So the week before Survivor Series, the Big Show's dad, quote unquote, died. Oh my God. And then Big Boss Man, oh God, read this horribly offensive poem on Raw. And then that led to the funeral segment on SmackDown. Because if your dad dies, if you're a wrestler and your dad dies, you have your dad's funeral broadcast on network television, don't you? That's just one of the silly things you have to overlook if you have to enjoy pro wrestling. Because yeah, that's exactly what you do, wouldn't you? Oh yeah, my dad's died. You go to visit, oh my dad's died, I can have the funeral, but you can record it and air it on SmackDown if you want to. So, oh God. Yeah, so the Big Show's dad's having his funeral, and this is an actual graveyard, by the way, an actual cemetery. Like, this is not a fake cemetery, this is actually a real cemetery somewhere in Connecticut. So they're doing the thing, and then comes a Big Boss Man in a police car with a Blue Brothers megaphone, talking shit over the megaphone about the Big Show's dad being dead and Paul White being an embarrassment and all that. I mean, it was one of those things where I don't want to laugh because this is disgusting, but the Big Boss Man's performance is so over the top I can't but help but laugh at it. So he went for the Big Show, oh God. So, oh my God. He ties a chain to the Big Show's casket, tries to steal the Big Show's dad's casket, and drives off. But it gets better. The Big Show dives out of the casket to try and stop the Big Boss Man. Like, yeah, what's he going to do? Dive on the casket and that's going to stop a car? The Boss Man drives off, knocks the Big Show off the casket and drives off with the casket. My God. And to be fair, Big Show's reaction of diving on the casket to stop him just made that segment so much better. Now, apparently that was completely improvised. That wasn't originally in the script or anything. it's something the Big Show just did off the cuff, and he thought, well, this is awesome, we're going to keep it in. So, because of that feud, we're going to have this match for the Hardcore Championship. Big Show's going to fight the Big Boss Man one-on-one. And then on Sunday Night Heat, prior to the show, we're going to have a segment where the Big Show destroys Prince Albert, like absolutely annihilates him. Backstage, beats a complete shit out of him. So Prince Albert's taken off to hospital. So now the Big Boss Man's buddy Prince Albert is out the picture now. So we'll be Big Show and Boss Man one-on-one. And this is where the Big Boss Man's going to become a coward. So now the realization hits in what he's done, all this shit he's done. Now he's going to have to pay. Now he's going to have to face up to what he's done and fight the Big Show one-on-one in a hardcore rules match. So now the Boss Man's going to cut a cowardly promo before the match, apologising for all he did to the Big Show and all. I said he was sorry. He went too far. We don't need to do this. We don't need to do this match. I want to apologise for what I said about your dad and all that. So then the Big Show's going to come out. Boss Man's going to ask him to accept his apology and all that. And then Big Show's going to tease it. He's going to do it. So he's going to shake the Big Boss Man's hand, and Boss Man's going to be like, thank you. And then his Boss Man tries to pull away. The Big Show holds on to his grip. And then the Big Boss Man realises what's about to happen. Boss Man shits his pants. And then the Big Show is just going to annihilate the Boss Man, like absolutely beat him up. So this is going to be an absolute squash, to be honest with you. Boss Man's going to get virtually no offense in this match. This match is going to go 3 or 4 minutes. Big Show's just going to destroy the Boss Man, beat the crap out of him for 3 or 4 minutes. And he's going to hit him with all the weapons and all that. And then he's going to choke slam him. Looks like he's going to pin a 1-2. But then the Big Show pulls the Big Boss Man up. He's not finished yet. Then the Big Show is going to set up a table. He's going to grab the Big Boss Man and choke slam him through the table. And then the Big Show is going to beat the Big Boss Man to become the new hardcore champion. So, and that for me would be the end of the storyline. Boss Man was a piece of shit. Big Show exacted full and frank revenge on the Boss Man, and then we both move on to something else. Now, the main event. So after all that, the main event. And this is one I debated about this one, because this is a tough one to call, really. Because as you say, in real life, it was supposed to be Triple H versus The Rock versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. Would have been a historic triple threat match. It would have been amazing. I mean, a lot of people say this is their dream triple threat match of all time, and I'll probably agree, it's probably mine as well. And for whatever reason, be it injuries or departures to Hollywood, never happened. I mean, because obviously Austin was out for most of 2000. Then 2001 rolls around, The Rock goes away to do the Scorpion King, and by the time he gets back, Triple H is injured with the quad injury. And they could have done it in 2002, but then obviously the NWO came back, so you had to put Hulk Hogan in the mix. So I'm not really sure when the best time to do this match would have been. In my opinion, if everyone was fit, I think SummerSlam 2001 would have been a great time to do it. I mean, a lot of people say WrestleMania 17, but I disagree, because I feel like Austin versus The Rock was the big money match for that show. And I always feel like if the NWO hadn't have come back, I think this would have been an ideal main event for WrestleMania 18. But of course, with Hogan coming back, you had to put Hogan in there, either The Rock or Austin, didn't you? And then obviously after 2002, Stone Cold walks out, and The Rock goes more and more in Hollywood. And then in 2003, Austin and Rock are out the picture completely. So never happened, and just such a shame, because it wasn't going to happen originally. But then Austin's old neck injuries flared up to the point where, because obviously Austin, when he got dropped in his head of Survivor Series, not Survivor Series, SummerSlam 1997 with Owen Hart, he really was wrestling on borrowed time from that point on. He didn't get a neck surgery, but at some point he would have had to have got it. Because I think that's what people don't realise, that mega run that Austin had in 98, 99. This is a guy in a bad neck doing all that. He did all that despite having a bad neck. So 1999, I think the toll starting to really take its toll on Austin. And they got to the point where his neck was in so much pain that he couldn't wrestle anymore. He had to go and get surgery. And at the time, a lot of people thought Austin might have had to retire, because it wasn't Because at the time it wasn't like, oh yeah, Austin will get the surgery, it'll be alright, he'll come back in a few months. It was like, we don't know, Austin may come back, he may not. But of course he did, but at the time, a lot of people speculated that Austin might have to retire due to these injuries. So, controversially, and I get it, I get the criticisms, I really do. WWF kept continuing to advertise Austin for this match, knowing full well that they're going to have to take him out in the night. Now, I get it. I mean, I get it in false advertising. Yeah, I think, was it a shitty move by WWF? Maybe. And I mean, if anyone feels that way, I think fair enough. But I do kind of get what they were going with, because they thought, well, let's try and get one last pay-per-view buyout of Austin's name, and who knows what will happen after that. So I can definitely see how people would think it was a shitty move. So that Austin was out. So now I had some options. And what have I gone with? So originally when I was doing this, I mean, people remember when I started FM and stuff like that, I always used to say, I think Test should have been the replacement, and Test should have won the WWF Championship, because at the time Test was about to marry Stephanie McMahon, and Test was getting a massive push and seemed at the time a safe bet to be a future main eventer. Then I thought about it and I thought, nah, that's kind of stupid, to be honest with you. I just thought, well, Test wasn't really ready to be the WWF champion at the time, and I just don't think it would have really worked. So I changed my mind on the Test score, and I've not gone with that. And then I went with, why don't we just do The Rock versus Triple H 1-on-1 and have The Rock win the title and have a brief title run? But I thought, you know what, I preferred The Rock not going over to win the title, because I preferred them waiting until 2000 to put the title on The Rock, because I thought it just felt so much bigger then. And then I thought maybe just have Triple H retain, but I feel Triple H needed enough with the champion to do the thing with Vince going to Armageddon. And then I decided that I thought about just going with what happened in real life, going with the Big Show, and just having the Big Show win the title like it did in real life. And then I made my final decision. So my Survivor Series main event is going to be Triple H versus The Rock versus Kane. So I thought, why not? And I started thinking, Kane. Why not Kane? That would make a little bit of sense, because I feel like, I do feel at the time Kane was probably a bigger star than the Big Show, and more over than the Big Show, and kind of overlooked as well. So yeah, basically, as in real life, Triple H and Rock are going to go in the ring, and then the replacement is going to be announced as Kane. Kane's going to come out. Then they're going to have the match. It'll go like 18 minutes or whatever the hell it was. And I feel like if Kane there, probably a better match as well. I feel like fans would have enjoyed it more. I think at the time, Kane was definitely a better worker than the Big Show. Although in my opinion, I feel like later down the line, Big Show became a better worker than Kane. But I think, as in 1999, I think Kane was definitely above the Big Show in that respect. So I imagine the match will be fine. It'll probably be about a 3-star match or something like that. Not great. It'll be a typical attitude era, brawling around the arena and all that sort of stuff. And then we get the finish. So in real life, Vince is going to come out, hit Triple H with the belt, and then Kane's going to hit a big choke slam. Kane's going to beat Triple H, and then Kane is going to be your World Wrestling Federation champion. Because I was thinking as well, in the Attitude Era, Kane had a one-day reign as champion in 1998. I think everyone always speculated, when was the best time to let Kane have another run as champion? I mean, he had a World Heavyweight title run in 2010, well, that was years and years later, so I thought, this would make sense. Why not? Why not Kane instead of the Big Show? So Kane did pretty much have the exact same run as the Big Show did. And then at Armageddon, you could do Kane versus X-Pac for the WWF title. I mean, on the surface, you look at that and think, is that really a WWF title feud? Well, I would definitely say Kane and X-Pac sounds more like a WWF title feud than Big Show and the Big Boss Man to you. So you could do that. Kane has a feud with X-Pac, beats him in a steel cage match at Armageddon to retain the title. And then, like in real life, you can have Triple H win the title back on the first Raw 2000 and then go from there. So why not Kane? There you go, that's my question. Why not Kane? Why couldn't Kane have won the title in this one? I just feel like that'd be interesting, you know. So yeah, that's a wrap, guys. Thanks for watching. Next rebooting will be 2003. I'm thinking of maybe doing 2005 as well, because I'll give it away now anyway, because that was the whole Raw versus SmackDown main event, right? So I thought, why not have me do an entire Raw versus SmackDown card like you do now? Or, well, I don't know if they're going to do it this year or not, but for 16, 17, 18, they've had Raw versus SmackDown the entire night. So I want to try and do a Raw versus SmackDown whole card video for that show. And just one more thing, guys, I'm just going to say this now. I haven't done them in the past, but I've decided this year I'm going to do Crown Jewel this year. Basically, the crack is, I'm at home tomorrow and the show's on like 5 or 6 o'clock in the afternoon, so it's on a sociable hour, so I'll watch it and I'll review it. I know it's probably not going to be very good, but why not? Because obviously, when I said I was do every WWF pay-per-view on my channel, that does include the Saudi shows I haven't done yet. So I thought, you know what, might as well just do it. Why not? So thanks for watching, guys, and until next time, peace.